Hello, I'm Andy Martins. Welcome back to on this edition, ONNPoint will be filled with lots of drama. Wendylynn Levoskin joins us from the Sioux Theatre Workshop, and Mark Brown to talk about the drama of politics in Sault Ste. Marie. All of that happens right after these commercial messages.
At 4:45, discover all kinds of treasures and never pay more than $5. Inventory is restocked every Saturday, and you can find anything from electronics to household items, toys, and much, much more. On Saturday, everything is $5, and the price goes down throughout the week, ending with 25 cents on Friday. We restock weekly with new items from various big box stores, so you never know what treasures you can find. Come visit us at 4:45, 2510 Ashman Street in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan.
Have a great business idea but don't know where to start? Need help taking your business to the next level? C2C Business Services can be your guide in navigating the path of entrepreneurship, with services ranging from grant funding support, access to service experts, market information, and helping your business adopt new technologies to create and foster a culture of innovation for ongoing success. Call C2C Business Services and let them be your first step in taking your entrepreneurial dreams from concept to commerce. C2C Business Services is a division of the Sault Ste. Marie Innovation Center.
Hello, welcome back to the show. As mentioned in the opening, we're lots of drama on the show today, and we start with Wendylynn Levoskin. She's from the Sioux Theatre Workshop on Pittsburgh Avenue. Hi, Wendy. Thanks for coming to the show.
Hi, Andy. Thanks for having us.
Let's start with this. What about a little bit of your background and how you got involved with theatre?
I ended up moving back to town, and a friend of mine was working on a show with Randy Houston, and she messaged me and said, hey, can you do me a favor and come and audition for a show? And because I'm a good friend, I decided that I would go, and it was fun, kind of, and I didn't get the part, and that was fine by me. And then a couple months later, she called and said that there was a part available, and she asked me to get involved. And so, because I'm a good friend, I did, and it ended up being a Quanta show, and I just fell in love with theater, and I've been there ever since.
Did you have your regular job at the same time that you were doing the theater? Or?
Yes, I did.
Great. Theater is kind of great because it's good for people that have mental health, and it allows people to escape from the reality of daily life, does it not?
Absolutely, it does. Absolutely. I had the pleasure of working with a lady named Bee. She was our adjudicator for our Quanta show, and she's a very firm believer on that too.
Right.
A lot of the things is you get to be somebody else when you're on stage. So any insecurities that you have as your own self, you don't get to bring those on stage with you because you have to put yourself into another character. So it gives you a break from yourself and your daily troubles and whatever's, get you stressed out. You go act on stage and you get to be somebody else.
Well, if I was a quiet, inverted person and not shy, how do you entice people that are shy to become actors or actresses in the Sioux Theatre Workshop?
Well, for me, I was that quiet, shy person, and it just happened because I'm a good friend that I went to it. Everybody has their own little tweaks and what they need to do. So you just kind of read the person, and you know, persistence is key. You just keep offering them, you keep asking them, and you know, enough. If they have their interest is piqued enough, then they'll come out, and we just encourage everybody to.
Has the Sioux Theatre Workshop ran into those kind of situations where people are interested, but they're saying, no, I can't go in front of a camera? And
oh yes, that happens. But we're like a little family, so there's lots of encouragement. There's a lot of seasonal actors that take in the newer actors, and they show them the ropes and
right.
And help them get comfortable with everything.
I'm shy too, Wendy, but you never know it. Talk to me about the summer camps in July and August. What's going on there?
We have Cassandra Bailey and her partner Ganor. They're coming from Toronto. They just graduated from George Brown. They're going to come and do 2-week sessions, and everybody, all the kids, it's open from ages 13 to 18. The cost is $200 per session. What they're going to do is, on that first day, they're going to get to know each other. They're going to play some games. They're going to look at a play, and they're going to look at all the different parts that people need to do in order to put a play together. So some kids will end up doing the tech work, the behind the stages, the lights, the sound. Then we'll have some doing backhand stage and teaching some how to be stage managers, and then some that are acting. They'll take the 2 weeks, they'll go through, they'll learn everything, and then after the 2 weeks, then they're going to put on a little performance for their families.
Wow, that's exciting. That's a big deal for these young people, isn't it?
It is, and we're hoping to have lots of kids become interested in that. They can email Sioux Theatre Workshop, attention Randy Houston Jones, and she will get them the information that they need to be able to come. It's going to be an exciting couple of weeks, and we're really excited to have that happen.
Now, you have a limited budget. How do you utilize that budget? Because with you guys, it's important to promote as well, is it not, to the community?
Oh, absolutely. If we're running a show and we don't have advertisement for it, then people aren't going to know. We use a lot of word of mouth. We have our social media accounts, so everybody that's involved with Sioux Theatre Workshop, when right. You always know a play is coming up because we litter our walls with promotions and posters and audition times and everything.
Is there rules for advertising a play, for example, in the community? You can post here, you can't post there, that kind of thing.
I myself haven't dealt with that. Everywhere that I've gone to ask to put up posters, they've always been really great to let me put up posters.
Right. Now, these kids are 13 to 18 years of age, and that's wonderful that at the end of the 2 months they can perform in a play. That's got to pick up the confidence and the spirit of these young people.
That's what we're hoping for. Absolutely. We want to involve the youth into the theater and to keep it going and let them know how much fun they can actually have getting on stage or working behind the stage.
All right. Well, if I was to ask you, Wendylynn, how do you teach people to memorize lines? Because that's always an intimidating process, is it not?
Oh, very much so. Absolutely. A lot of the times people will just use what they use and give them pointers that way. I record my lines, and then I listen to my lines every time I get a chance to. When I'm driving in the car, instead of the radio, I'll listen to myself talk, and then I write them down while I'm looking at the script until I don't have to anymore. So that works for me. Other people, they're great. They can just look at it and they know what it is. Everybody has their own little ideas of how to do it, and they have their own ways that it works for them, and we just kind of share that amongst each other. So there's no right or wrong way to learn your lines. It's just how you memorize things best.
all people have different ways of memorizing lines. Does that ever hold the play up? The fact that some people can do it easier than others, and is that ever a problem? The fact that not everybody can memorize lines as efficiently as maybe you'd like to have before the play.
I don't necessarily think that it's a problem. It's a little bit stressful, but by the time we get on stage, everybody pretty much knows their lines. And when you're working together, it is a very time-consuming thing to be involved in a play. So you're with your castmates a lot more than you're with your family during the weeks of rehearsal and stuff. So everybody is very encouraging. I ended up forgetting one of my lines during rehearsals, and probably about 5 of my castmates ended up saying it for me. So everybody works together, and it ends up, by the time show comes, it ends up perfectly fine.
In our remaining moments in this segment, let's talk a little bit about Matilda coming up in October of this year. What can you tell me about that?
Matilda is going to be our opening for our season. It's going to be running from October 23rd to October 27th. Anthony Assetti is going to be the director. Sioux Theatre Workshop is working with his company to put this on. They have just casted the whole show, so they're going to be starting rehearsals soon. It's a big cast, lots of kids, lots of adults, and it's looking to be really fun.
Is there a problem with recruiting for the play? Probably not, eh? There's a lot of other competing people in this community for acting. Is it ever a problem to recruit for plays such as this?
No, not so much. Like you said, the Sioux, there's a lot of talented people in the Sioux, and a lot of people want to go on stage. So I think the problem more so lies with the director of who to actually choose.
Right. Oh, okay. Right. The director has the choice, and that's left to him. Wendy, our time is up. Thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it, and best of luck to the Sioux Theatre Workshop.
Thank you very much.
All righty, we'll continue our theme of drama on ONNPoint with Mark Brown coming up right after these commercial messages.
Stopping and nothing, I'm up in your face, shaking it off, no matter the cost. I'm feeling the wind, I'm taking it all, I'm paving the way with the sweat and the blood. I'm at the top, I'm rising above. I want the gold, give me the rush, Queen Midas, I got the touch. I'm pushing, I'm pushing, I'm pushing. 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 I'm pushing, I'm pushing, I'm pushing.
Housed in a 15,000 square foot custom manufacturing facility built to produce world-class cabinetry at surprisingly affordable prices, Great Lakes Fine Cabinetry brings your project from initial concept to final design. Proudly providing Northern Michigan and the Algoma region with quality hand-built cabinetry for the past 20 years. Located at 844 East 3 Mile Road, Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, Great Lakes Fine Cabinetry, making your cabinetry dreams come true.
Mios is Canadian through and through. And to celebrate Canada's birthday, Mios is offering 20 to 50% off all Canadian-made furniture. Mios knows supporting Canadian jobs, Canadian ideals, and Canadian designers is the right thing to do. And saving you 20 to 50% is a great way to celebrate Canada Day. Now, more than ever, is the time to buy Canadian and to support your local stores. Mios Furniture Fashions. Service before and after the sale. 261 Trunk Road. Where else, eh?
With over 45 years of experience, All Ontario Well Drilling offers hydrofracking and all well drilling services. Call 705-575-8088 or 705-257-9495.
When you support the Restore, it helps Habitat for Humanity build affordable housing for families. How does this work? New and gently used goods are donated to the Restore. The sale of these goods generate funds for building homes. For every $1 spent at the Restore, there is a $4 return on investment within our community. For example, Habitat homeowners have better educational outlook, increased employment stability, improved health, and reduction in the use of social services. Every donation and every dollar we receive through the Restore helps build sustainable housing for future homeowners. Everyone needs a foundation to build a future. To find out more and how you can help, drop by the Restore at 32 White Oak Drive or go to habitatzoo.ca.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Listen to them. Children of the night. Alive! It's alive!
Hello, welcome back to On Point. I'm Andy Martins. Thanks for staying with us. On this segment, we continue with the drama of politics, and a well-known citizen in Sault Ste. Marie, Mark Brown, is joining me. Thanks, Mark, for being on the show.
My pleasure, Andy. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. Let me start with this, Mark. You've been following municipal, all kinds of levels of politics. How has municipal politics changed, let's say, from the time that our great late John Roosevelt was elected in the last 19 years? How has it changed at City Hall?
I don't know that it's changed all that much. We've seen a lot of turnover in terms of the participants at the City Council table, but you know, our City Council is now more youthful, and you know, all of the City Councils have been representative of the city as far as I'm concerned, based on what I've seen, and so I don't think it has changed that much, Andy.
Right, and we wanted that, didn't we? We wanted some youth on our council, and now we have it. Starting with Matthew Shoemaker in 2014, and we went from there.
Yeah, the voters are always right about who they choose, so yeah. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we want some youth, we want some diversity, we want some differing points of view in terms of life experience, and with this council, I think we've got a very excellent mix.
Great. You wanted to talk about the West End Library, Mark, to let our viewers know what exactly is going on with that.
Well, it's official. It's going to close at the end of the summer, so at the end of August it'll be closed, and I got that information from attending the library board meeting yesterday starting at 4:30, and they're going to be issuing a letter, the board, to mayor and council that's dated June 24th that says that because they're going to run out of money by the end of the summer, they can't you know, they can't continue on to have the library operate. Mm-hmm. But they've also included 4 budget scenarios for 2020 that will allow them to, 3 of the 4 budget scenarios will allow them to continue a full service operation with limited hours. So a couple of days of the week it'll be closed, but on the remainder of the week it'll be open under 2 of the scenarios. So Monday and Tuesday it'll be closed in 2020 according to the budget scenarios they presented.
Right.
But like I said, it will be absolutely closed, doors shut, locked at the end of August 1st, unless this City Council during this summer reconsiders their budget decision from March 6th, where they took away the operating funds from the core branch library.
That decision, Mark, do you think it was too harsh, too quick? Could it have been a little bit slower and methodical decision at the time?
Yeah, it was definitely harsh, and it was a surprise motion. like I watch city council and there's certain things that happen. So that motion was a motion that was on the addendum. And the addendum doesn't go on the agenda, so the media knows nothing about it.
Right.
So therefore, citizens know nothing about it. And it came up at the last second with no public input whatsoever. I guess they felt like when they closed the East End branch in 2017, they had public consultations and there was too much political fallout because that branch operated at about $37 a square foot, whereas the Cora branch operates at about $5 a square foot.
Wow.
And so, I mean, it was a very harsh decision. It just sort of ignores the citizens of the West End. And the surprising thing about it was that, 3 of the 4 West End city councilors voted to take away that money from the West End Library. But they said during that decision that they fully expected an ongoing presence. And now that they know that, I'm pretty certain that, they should be putting forward a reconsideration of taking away those funds.
Right. Do you anticipate that to take place?
No, I don't, quite frankly, because what happened was they took away the $214,000 that it takes to operate that entire library, and for like 7 days a week with adequate professionals to attend to the people's needs. When they come in and they say, I want a book on salamanders, you got somebody there showing a child, here's a whole world of salamanders, go explore kind of thing. So so I don't expect them to do that because there's been massive public outcry according to the library, and it says so in their letter. It says, since the first announcement about the branch's possible closure, we have heard from the public about how important the service is to them.
Right.
It is the board's hope that council will reevaluate its position on the Cora branch. And so that means they'll give them some money to operate September, October, November, and then continue on forever. So there's no sort of discontinuation of service. And that'll give us 3 libraries rather than just 2. I mean, at the budget deliberations back in March, they said that you're asking for a 14% increase. But what they didn't say was we were going to get 3 full-service libraries instead of just 2.
Right.
I mean, they hide the stuff that they don't want you to hear. Obviously, if the library board's getting lots of public input on don't close our library, I mean, like the Holy Family School sent a petition, 126 signatures, and so it was only the library board who made that publicly available to anybody.
Right.
And but I know, as a matter of fact, that they sent it to every city councilor because Councilor Shoemaker wrote back and said, hey, listen, we've got all kinds of outside agencies asking for money. We gave you a little bit of money. We can't give you this much money. So he considers it an outside agency. Like, the library is not an outside agency. It's part of our city. It's an integral part of our city.
Right.
So, I mean, based on the fact that we've heard nothing about the massive public output, which I'm sure they've heard. I know they heard it because the lights went out at the city council meeting on March 5th, and Dave Helwig wrote a story of Sioux Today. He wrote a story saying, Matthew Shoemaker has put forward a motion to take away the operating funds for the Cora Branch Library, so it'll eventually close. And people called up their city councilors like big time, because I know Matthew Scott mentioned at that subsequent March 6th meeting that he's never heard as much public outcry about anything in his short time at city council. So I'm not confident they're going to do that, but I mean, if you're a West End councillor, Mr. Councillor Gardy, Councillor Bruni, Councillor Nero, I would recommend highly that you put forward a reconsideration motion, because, I mean, this is something that people are going to remember. And even the mayor, he never spoke about, he said, hey, he wrote a letter. He said, come on, library board.
Right.
We know we've given you $0, but please give us a presence. So if the mayor wants to have a presence there in September, he's going to have to convince city council to give the library board some money, like immediately.
Right.
Because, they're talking about budget scenarios where they have to ask for increases in money.
So the lobbying continues of the West End councillors and others to try and get this thing done before September.
Yeah, like the West End Council, yes, the West End councillors said in their thing, you know, we'll support this motion to take away the money if the West End Library continues to be an ongoing full-service presence. That's not the case. We know that now.
Right.
So, you know, I don't expect it to happen because of the way they've handled it, but I mean, it's something that definitely should happen.
We're seeing a trend here, though, Mark, are we not, with lack of public input on other things that are happening within the city? That's not a good trend to have, really, is it?
Yeah, I mean, exactly. But I mean, we're very lucky to have Mayor Christian Provenzano. He's a guy who cares about our city.
Right.
He's a man of action. He wants to get things done, and he's known since he entered the office of mayor that he only had 8 years to get things done. And so there have been some radical changes, like the structure of City Hall. They've gone to a department that sort of has taken on this sort of development of the city for the benefit of the citizens. But with that sort of action, a mayor who takes action, it doesn't provide a lot of time for public input, which is messy, and people have different opinions and they have to come to a consensus. That stuff takes time. And so he consults experts. And on a couple of things, you know, the only experts whose opinion really matter, in the case of the library, is the West End residents. I mean, and they were not consulted at all. And so, you know, the mayor back in October 24th of 2017 at a city council meeting said, you know, I want 2 libraries for this city. And if I have to get out of my chair to do it, I'm going to get out of the chair. So, I mean, we are lucky, but the mayor is not always right about his decisions. And in my opinion, this case, the more libraries, the better. It makes our city much, much better because it helps people of limited means.
Right. Mark, the segment is over. We have to leave it there. Thank you so much for coming in today to talk about the library and other important assets and facets of this city. We could always use more public input, but it does come with a cost. We'll be back to wrap up the show right after these commercial messages.
Coming to get you, Barbara.
Listen to them. Children of the night.
Alive! It's alive!
We're back with ONNPoint. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to my guests, Wendylynn Levoskin of Sioux Theatre Workshop and Mark Brown to talk about the drama of theater and the drama of the city and municipal and politics. And that's it for ONNPoint. Join me next time with our MP, Terry Sheehan. That's next time on ONNPoint. I'm Andy Martins. Thank you for watching.